Hello, I'm Michael DeBose, and I'm here with Juliet Murphy, and this is going to be a deep dive into our Apple Music profile.
Yeah, so just a little bit about why we chose this. Around this time of year, it's a fantastic time for music fans. I'm an Apple Music lover, and I love when they release a wrapped summary of my favorite songs in the year. The data from these summaries and more is available from these streaming platforms if you request it, which we did. And so this project seeks to use the raw data from my Apple Music profile, as well as data collected from the internet, in order to produce these wrapped reviews to the test and come up with a few insights of our own.
Once we got the data, we had to do a little cleaning from it. So we got our data from a bunch of different sources. We got it from old reliable Wikipedia, where they had a table of all of the top streams songs in the history of Spotify. We also requested all of Juliet's data from her Apple Music profile, and we used a little bit from the Apple Year in Review that they made for her. How do we find it? It's pretty easy to just request it from Apple Music if you log into your account on the website. And they send this large zip file with a bunch of CSV, JSON, and other text files with a bunch of different data about your profile, your listening history, and things like that. The modules we use to clean it, we use requests, RE, we use JSON, CSV, Pandas, NumPy, and Beautiful Soup.
Okay, so for the first insight, we're comparing the two sets of top 10 artists, one being all-time 10 artists and the other from just this year. This insight produces a percentage of what artists were present in both sets of data, meaning the rate of which artists stayed in my top 10. The high number of 90% means that my favorite artists have not changed that much in the past 4 years of music history.
So we go on to Insight 2. This one, it groups play count by the year that it was added to the library. It also calculates the plays per years available, and it creates this cool little index that I came up with that takes the plays per year available by what an average year should be. So it kind of exists to show how much new music she listened to, because in her year in review, the top 4 artists all released new music in the past 2 years, but we weren't sure how much of that was influenced by new music or how much of it was just like old hits from these artists. So the final column is, again, an index that it's based on the average plays per year available. And it does appear that older music makes up a majority of the music streams here, as the music added to the library from 2021 or later is listened to 64% less often than average. This goes with our visualization one over here. I wanted to explore this insight further, so I chose to visualize box plots of all the different songs organized by each artist, with total plays being on the y-axis. It's organized by max listens for a song. So the first one is a song by Houndsmouth, which was listened to over 70 times. So the small line-like box plots indicates artists where a single song made up the entirety of her listening history. And all of these top 5 artists, like Olivia Rodrigo and Kanye West and Taylor Swift, they all have broader, larger boxes because she's listened to a broader range of all their music, and the range of how many times she's listened to it varies a lot more. Up next, this one shows 3 different rankings. And going from left to right, it's the top 7 generated by Apple Music, the top 7 based on total plays, and the top 7 based on the plays per skip ratio that I calculated just by taking the number of plays divided by the number of skips. And it looks like Kanye West is actually an interesting one here, because Kanye West totally falls off the rankings for plays per skip, which means that Kanye West may have been her most played artist, but isn't necessarily her favorite based on how often she skips Kanye West songs when they come on.
This next visualization produces a pie chart depicting the percentages of what genre my most played music was in. This one is one that really surprised me, because I didn't even think that I listened to that much country music. except for one song by Carrie Underwood that I play all the time, and that's 21% of my genre pie. So this is a really interesting visualization to see it in a picture instead of just seeing it in charts. And I hope you like the album background.
So the next one, Insight 4 here. We wanted to know if there was any overlap between the top Spotify streams and her most streamed songs on Apple Music. And when you compare them side by side, none of the top 20 songs actually matched between Spotify and Apple Music. And it seems that she might have a little bit more of a esoteric taste in music than your average bear.
All right, Insight 5 is evaluating the relationship between length of song and how much I liked that song. I grouped these songs into 10 different categories, each being a minute-long range of song duration. There did seem to be a correlation between most listened to songs being between 3 and 5 minutes long. And I also made a visualization to represent this. So this visualization is a line graph of the results from Insight 5. It depicts the song durations that were most popular and which ones aren't. There is an obvious trend, like I said, but I also wonder if it could be due to what's available on the market, not just what I like the most. That would make sense as to why it's 3 to 6 minutes being the peak, because there aren't that many 10-minute long songs out there.
Yeah, so thanks for watching. This project was particularly interesting for me because it built a lot of respect for me for these like Spotify and Apple Music and these streaming services that give you these really easy to read, really easy to digest breakdowns of all of your music listening habits. And to be able to go in and see that this is coming from just completely unorganized, completely raw data, and how they can make it so interactive and so enjoyable for everybody this time of year, definitely gained a lot of respect for that.
Yeah, I really enjoyed getting to know my music through a different lens. There are so many things that I don't know how much Michael is really understanding about the funny things that I see in this data. I might be getting called out a little bit, but by some of the insights we found. But overall, it was really fun and interesting, and I would probably do something like this in the future. Thank you.